Note that in all our examples, we are claiming 10,000 Rand for code 4020 out-of-pocket expenses, and we will use 2 medical aid fund beneficiaries. The Sundry IRP5 code's medical credit claim screen is what we need to look at next, so we click on this button here. In all our examples, we will use 2 medical aid fund beneficiaries for every month in the tax year. We can see that we have been awarded 7,272 Rand in tax credits for the 2 beneficiaries. That is 303 Rand per beneficiary per month. If we look in the yellow fields near the top right-hand side of the calculator screen, we can see the amounts transferred here automatically from the IRP5. We don't have to retype them in here again. We just click on the Transfer IRP5 Data button to copy the amounts from the yellow fields to the white fields here for processing. This is the case where the employer paid all the contributions and the taxpayer paid none. We can see the amount of 60,000 Rand paid by the employer as code 4474, and we can see the code 4005 employer plus employee total amount of 60,000 Rand. So we have a total of 60,000 Rand in allowable contributions. In fact, in all our examples, you will see that the total contributions is 60,000 Rand in each case. The formula is the same for all the not yet 65 taxpayers in our examples. The only thing different in the formulas is the taxable income, which changes according to the amount of contributions paid by the employer. The difference in taxable incomes in our examples is the reason why the tax credits are different in each case. In this example, the 60,000 Rand total contributions less the 4 times the beneficiary tax credits of 7272 is 60,000 Rand less 29088, which equals 30,912. We add the 10,000 Rand claim for code 4020 out-of-pocket expenses and we get 40,912 Rand. Now we get to the part in the formula where the taxable income affects our answers. Additional tax credits will be granted for 25% of the amount by which the 40,912 amount exceeds 7.5% of the taxable income. In this case, the taxable income is the 300,000 Rand salary plus the 60,000 Rand code 3810 fringe benefit consisting of the employer's contributions paid. 7.5% of the 360,000 Rand taxable income is 27,000 Rand. 40,912 exceeds 27,000 Rand by 13,912 Rand, and 25% of 13,912 is 3,478. Our total medical tax credits are the 7272 medical tax credits for beneficiaries plus the 3478 additional medical tax credits. So the total for medical tax credits is 10,750 Rand. Let's have a look at our next example where the employer and the employee each paid 30,000 Rand towards the total of 60,000 Rand contributions. You will see the amounts in the formulas are the same right up until the taxable income comes into play in the formula. You can see that the code 4474 employer paid contributions of 30,000 Rand have been brought forward here, as well as the total code 4005 contributions of 60,000 Rand. With the same total contributions as the previous example, the values in the formula are the same right up until we get to the taxable income. Remember that in this example, the employer's share of contributions forming a fringe benefit and adding to the 300,000 Rand salary is 30,000 Rand. So the taxable income is 330,000 Rand. In this example, 7.5% of taxable income is 24,750, which means that 25% of the amount by which 40,912 exceeds 24,750 is 4,041 Rand. 4,041 Rand plus 7,272 Rand equals 11,312 Rand to the nearest Rand. Looking at the example where all of the 60,000 Rand contributions were paid by the taxpayer at salary source and the employer paid no contributions, we can see the code 4005 amount of employees' contributions making up the total contributions. Once again, we can see the amounts in our formula for allowable contributions and expenses are the same at 40,912 Rand. In this case, the taxable income is 300,000 Rand, as there are no employer's contributions added to income as a fringe benefit. In this example, 7.5% of taxable income is 22,500, which means that 25% of the amount by which 40,912 Rand exceeds 22,500 is 4,603 Rand. 4,603 Rand plus 7,272 equals 11,875 Rand. I have now made the taxpayer 66 years old. The taxable income plays no part in the formulas for taxpayers 65 or older, or for taxpayers less than 65 but with a dependent who has a disability handicap. Tax credits for beneficiaries are the same at 7,272. Tax credits for allowable contributions works like this. You must subtract 3 times the beneficiary tax credits from the allowable contributions, and 33.3% of the balance is granted as a tax credit. 60,000 Rand contributions less 21,816 Rand is 38,184 Rand, and 33.3% of 34,184 Rand is 12,715. A straight 33.3% of the 10,000 Rand code 4020 out-of-pocket medical expenses is granted as another tax credit. Total tax credits are 7,272 Rand plus 12,715 Rand plus 3,330 Rand, which equals 23,317 Rand.